Join us to the. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Minutes. Ellen, have you got any minutes?
No.
Okay. Reports.
Preliminary cash report for July from the treasurer.
Okay.
Sorry, Mr.
Go
Chairman.
ahead, sir.
Yeah, she was not done with that yet, so we'll not show it as accepted till she gets us a clean one.
Okay.
Correspondence.
I have none.
Okay. Commissioners.
Nope, no correspondence.
All right, then calendar review. I'll start with you, Commissioner Doolittle.
I don't have anything for next week.
A boat ride.
Boat ride. True. You don't want to know what I'm doing next week.
I've got a solid waste safety meeting tomorrow morning. If either you wanna, you're always welcome to come to those safety meetings that are bright and early in the morning, 7:30 out of the county shop. Tippett Advisory Board meeting, that one's at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Clancy Water Sewer meeting is at 6:30 tomorrow evening at Clancy Schoolhouse. I'm taking Thursday off and heading to the park, the northern one, was that Glacier Park. There we go. Taking the wife up there on Thursday, so I'll be out of service. And I gotta run out of this meeting early today. If it lasts longer than 2:15, 2:20, I got the governor coming over to Riverside Youth to do a walkthrough in that, and I want to be there to represent the county. So if I have to bail out of here early, my apologies up front. And I think that's all I have. Nothing next week. Monday's a holiday, so.
Understood. Thank you, Commissioner. And I have nothing in terms of a calendar review, so moving to Commissioner reports, Commissioner Doolittle.
Let's see, August 21st had a mental health local advisory council. We talked about the budget. Nothing's been spent out of it, so it's the same as it was. They did approve the $6,000 per year for a billboard on the north end. They're talking about doing a new message on the DUI task force billboard that's down Highway 69 on the Cary property. We had a good presentation from Crystal from the loss team out of Lewis Clark County. We're discussing that for Jefferson County and how we need to get there. That was about what we did there. On yesterday, 23rd, no, day before yesterday, the 23rd, I had a meeting with Many Rivers Whole Health where we went through the audit status from 2024, getting ready for the audit for 2025. Went over the 26 budget, which really hasn't changed much since 2024. Financial reports, they got a position vacancy. We talked about some HR data and their retention of their employees. That was about it. And next meeting is 22nd of September.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Kirsch.
I think last week was the first week that I can ever remember I really didn't have anything. I spent a lot of time in the office and got caught up in some paperwork and yeah, just busy work mostly, no meetings though, Mr. Chairman.
That's good. Finally a break. All I've got is last night, Monday night, Park Trails Recreation Commission met. And the group speaker was Carrie White, EBU. And Carrie spoke about travel management and the involvement of this group, as well as Jefferson County could have in the making and acceptance of this issue at hand. And then Whitehall, Ringing Rocks Road will be closed due to the construction on the roadway from August 25th to September 25th, which are 4 miles of the road, which will be updated to help with easier access. That's all I have. And now we have opportunity for public comment. This is the opportunity for public comment to talk about anything that is not on the agenda. And if doing so, please identify yourself first before speaking. But again, it's for anything that is not on the agenda. Is there anyone who would like to say anything? That's what I thought. Okay. Now we got to wait. We're time specific until 1:45, gentlemen. So
One thing I forgot to report on, we did meet with the treasurer this morning.
Yep.
Just for half an hour or so, and she gave us a report. Her her normal monthly, balance sheet for July was off by a little bit. They're trying to track that down before they give us a actual report, so. And everything's going well in her office. Her staff is doing well. We put new windows in the building over there, so they seem to be more comfortable environmentally. Can't think of anything else that you mentioned over there.
Oh, for help,
The what?
those two, the one they're slowly gonna be quitting.
Oh, okay, yeah, she got some part-time seasonal type people that are, a full-time position that share those hours together, and the one's kind of gonna try to taper off, I guess, so. So, yeah, that was about all I can remember from her
No, you
meeting
did
this
well.
morning.
You did well. I guess that's it at this point.
That's it till 1:45. Oh, we don't have to wait too long.
No. You didn't have anything to add, did you, Commissioner Goulart? No, okay.
So yeah, on the agenda where it talks about the permissive levies, we don't necessarily put those on the counter. I can send them to anybody that wants to read it, but it's similar to all the other funds. We take the, it's just calculation sheets based off of how much we pay for
That's
health
what I thought. I was
insurance.
just
Yeah.
making sure.
And the sheriff's retirement system is based off of, the difference in the rate for sheriff's retirement contributions in last year and this year. And that's how that's calculated. But the preliminary budget will be on the counter and we can PDF it and send it. Also.
Paul.
Hello.
that day after, hang on the day. They're still there.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and continue this meeting now for the time specificness. And this one's a public hearing, in regard, and present with us will be our clerk and recorder, Ginger Coons, who will explain this. And then all I ask thereafter is if anyone has any comments, concerns, or want to say anything, please identify yourself prior to saying anything, okay? With that being said, this will have to do with the permissive levy for health insurance for county employees. permissive levy for the sheriff's retirement system, which is the SRS, and the preliminary budget for the fiscal year 25-26. That being said, Ginger, would you like to start us out, please?
You
Sure.
wanna-
So-
Sorry, Ginger, go ahead and
Go ahead.
open the public.
Oh, I
hearing.
said that at the beginning, but okay,
You
yeah.
can Open the
Open
public
now.
hearing, okay,
Yeah, I did that.
sorry.
Nope, you're good. Thank you.
So the permissive levy for health insurance is a levy that we do every year, and it's calculation forms that are provided by Department of Revenue, and it's based on the number of employees that we have. And then similar to the permissive levy for the sheriff's retirement system, almost every session there's something related to the sheriff's retirement system and what the contribution rate will be for entities like the county to pay into that system. And so the permissive levy for it is to cover the difference in the increase, because it typically increases every year. This year is a little bit different because they did not, in 2023, they did not authorize an increase in that contribution. But then in 2025, they did authorize it with retro pay. So that calculation is quite a bit different this year because it's going from 12.74% last year's fiscal year to 13.113% this year. So those are, again, just calculation worksheets that we are provided by Department of Revenue. And we enter in how many employees we have in either on our health insurance or in the retirement system. And then it tells us what we may permissively levy for that. And then for the preliminary budget for fiscal year 25-26, it's here. It will be on my counter for the next week when the final budget will replace it. When you look at this document, it's 114 pages and it's around 29 million. But looking at that number is kind of misleading because there's different things in there where we have to budget for it. But if the money doesn't come, then we don't spend it, but we have to put it in our expenditure budget. One example of that, there's about 500,000 for a CDBG grant for Yellowstone Boys and Girls Club. But if we don't get that grant, then that money isn't spent. So a more detailed look at it would be better for specific funds if anybody has any questions. The budget meetings, the expenditure budget meetings were held in June to go over everybody's budget. Last year, a lot of the departments their budgets were cut 5% across the board in order to afford a cost of living increase for the employees, and all the departments lived very well within that budget. So leaves us tight on our cash reserves. With the cost of living increases that we have to do for the employees, and the inflation factor that we're allowed with our revenue is lower than what the cost of living is. So again, there was some cuts this year to a couple of the departments just to afford that. And but all the departments are doing really well at offering up cuts and living within their budgets. And next week we'll do the final. But if anybody has any specific questions about the budget, they can email me, or it will be posted on our county or on our counter, and I can email specific things also.
Thank you, Ginger. At this point, is there any questions or comments?
Is that on our website, Ginger, or is it just strictly on the counter? Is
We
it too big to fit on the website?
No, we will put it on the counter, but we usually just put the final budget, but we could put the preliminary on there also. At this point, we've cut and pasted all over the place, so I wouldn't anticipate any changes within the next week. But
Okay. Just curious. No, that's fine. However we normally do it. I guess if we get a bunch of people asking for it, it'd be probably wise to put it on the website.
yeah, so if you go on the website right now, you'll see the past couple of fiscal year budgets. But when we do put this one on there, it does show the past couple of fiscal years information also in the different columns for comparison. So once we have the final budget, we'll get that on the website, and then you'll be able to see. And then also through Laserfish, people outside the county network should be able to get that, and you can look at any years budgets in that program also.
All backline, point of information, Ginger. Is this this permissive levy for the health insurance and the sheriff's retirement? Is that the cleanest way?
Sorry.
Cleanest way to take care of this? It sounds like this is something you do every year, but it's a variable amount because of what the employees are paid, what the sheriffs are paid, so. This is what I'm doing, is have these permissive levies annually taking care of that adjustment.
Yes.
Now, is that included in the, well, preliminary budget then, once the resolution is passed? Or not?
So the levy, next week, there'll be the mill levy resolution and it'll be listed out as a separate item on there.
Okay,
And then it will show in the final budget document that will be in a revenue.
okay, thank you.
In the expenditure budget, you see the SRS contributions that the county makes with every payroll. That's on the expenditure side, and then what comes from the levy will be in the final budget in the revenue side.
Okay.
Anyone else have any questions or comments at this point? Otherwise, this will continue until next week. We'll take action on it next Tuesday. So it's open until that point in time. So if any questions or comments should arise, like Ginger said, please feel free to reach out to her. So our next one is at 2:00, so.
Paul, I get back on, I guess what I'd like to do is stand in support of the passing these resolutions or permissive levies. It's an important part of keeping and recruiting employees for Jefferson County and the sheriff's department too. And even though I think it's the best county to live in, sometimes the pay isn't commensurate with what things should be, and so it's important that we have a retirement system and the health insurance system in place for employees.
Thanks, Paul. I would just ask the audience just to save time. We can't act yet or do anything, but has everyone had a chance to read these resolutions? Everyone's, okay.
Brett said he hasn't had a chance to read it yet, so I think, was that who you talked to, Craig, about emailing you,
Brett.
Brett Clark?
Well, he said email him, he didn't, yeah,
Okay.
As
he
long
does
as
live up there.
it gets in, right?
What's that?
As long as it gets an email or something.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so we're good. I mean, you don't have to go through both.
Yeah, I wouldn't-
You want me to email my Corey about this? Give it to me now. You want me to hand it to me?
Changes come in. I think it's the same thing.
Gary at City Lights.
Join the meeting.
Put these people down on the notes there. Harry for me, so we've got. You read it? Brett.
You haven't signed in. Could you also- I think everybody. Yeah. All right, I'll write that. Your what's your faces? Jan. I think that's. Yeah, we're gonna drop down. Oh, okay. Keep it in the family.
Do you know who's on the phone?
I think it's Gary at City Lights.
Jerry,
Gary.
Gary, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I've got 4 kids.
Mhm.
Jake.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. It's 2:00. Okay, this is gonna be a public hearing on 3 different resolutions. The first one is resolution number 15-2025, resolution estimating the cost of maintaining, preserving and repairing improvements, changing the boundaries, adding benefited parcels, and levying assessments in Meadowlark Ridge Rural Maintenance District number 2515. And if there's any discussion after LaDana gives her presentation, I would ask that you identify yourself first, please, by giving your name prior to speaking. LaDana?
Okay, so we did mail notices out to everybody in the district who are currently in the Meadowlark Ridge RMD, and also lots that would be coming into the district. That's about 95 notices that we sent out to them, so folks in that area have been notified. We also put it in the newspaper, the Monitor, and I think we also did the Ledger. Because Monitor is our paper of record, though we could usually do both of them. So people have been notified of what is occurring up there. We did get some comments back in, which I have distributed to the commissioners. I sent them on through email, so you guys had copies of all of them to review. So what we're doing up there is the Meadowlark Ridge, RMD is made up of a whole bunch of subdivisions. And we have lots that have, been created since the Meadowlark Ridge RMD was created. So what we're trying to do right now is get the lots in that have never participated in the RMD, even though they're using the Meadowlark roads. So we're trying to get Sentinel Ridge in, Ashbrook subdivision, and some other benefited lots up there created by family transfers, court orders, and then there's a couple of other lots up there that haven't ever been divided that are also using the roads. So that really is the purpose of their update. They had a loan, the Meadowlark Ridge RMD had a loan, and the county fronted that loan, and over an 8-year period, that each lot was paying $488. Well, now that the loan has been paid back, we don't anticipate as much money being needed, so we're dropping it back to what it should have gone back to in the resolution, which would have been $221. However, we do have the new lots that will be coming into the district, so that will actually reduce their amount further. So each lot in the district will pay $174.47 now for maintenance of the roads in Meadowlark RMD. And those roads are only the roads that are in the Meadowlark subdivision that were the roads that they included in the original resolution for the district. So I know there's folks here that want those road boundaries changed to include the new subdivisions. The county can't just go and do that. This district was created with the intent being those roads that we have mapped out on the maps that everybody got. So those were the original roads. To change that now, you would need another petition to go through the process to create different things in your district. So you're welcome to do that. Anyone who wants to contact me within the next year, we could certainly work on that. But you will be the ones on the ground that will be collecting those signatures and getting the people to agree to change the district boundaries. So we'll just make that clear now, because I know some people want to see other roads included, and we can't do that because they weren't part of the original resolution. So the district will be collecting about $16,575 now. I did get a notice from one of the folks up there saying they have been in contact with Staley Engineering and they do need to do road work up there. However, I got this notice last week, which is too late to even do notices to people to try to do a different amount in the resolution that the county is putting forward, since we have to have this adopted next Monday. So at this point, we can't up their amount. We're going to stick with the amount that the county included in our resolution that we sent out and noticed everybody. So everybody would be paying that $174.47 on their tax bill. And then if they want to up that amount, they can come back in and talk to me. And we can get this process going, hopefully early in the year, so we can get that amount changed next year. So if there's any specific questions, the only other thing that I will say is the Ashbrook subdivision and Sentinel Ridge subdivisions, when they went through subdivision review, there were specific conditions of approval on those subdivisions that said they would not protest the RMD, they would join the RMD on terms equal to the properties that were currently being assessed under the RMD. So that's why those lots are included in the RMD. And any lots up there need Meadowlark Ridge roads for ingress and egress. So that's why they have to pay for the whole road system. You don't just get a piece of it, because that was the whole point of having the looped road in there, is that these developers could get the subdivisions through because they needed to ingress and egress routes. So we can't just start chopping down assessments for folks because they don't think it's fair. So I'll take any questions that anybody might have from the commission.
Thank you, Ladana.
I have a question. My name's Jeff Peeler. I live on Alta Drive. I'm part of the Ashbrook
we were already paying partial access for their roads on that side. And from what I read on this, correct me if I'm wrong, now you're wanting us to pay equal while we have the responsibility of maintaining our dirt road. Now, if we're paying equal, and I understand you said we would need a petition to change the boundaries. However, you guys are changing the boundaries with this extended, whatever you call it, on including us in to pay the full amount that the Meadowlark folks on their side are paying. My only thing is if we're paying the full amount the same, we're not wanting paved roads on our side. But have plowed the roads for the last 2 years. So I noticed in this RMD, Meadowlark last year, when I attended their HOA meeting, snow plowing came out of their HOA. Now snow plowing's coming out of taxes. So that coming out of taxes and out of this RMD, since snow plowing's coming out of that, I don't want to pay for their snow plowing and pay for their roads the full amount. I don't mind paying the full amount. But if everybody's paying the full amount, then if a grader needs to come down and take care of our roads, I mean, it's a real short distance for a snow plow. If a snow plow needs to plow it, if everybody's paying equal, the treatment needs to be equal. So I disagree with us needing a petition because I didn't see a petition come around on extending this boundary. It was a decision that was made. So if you can make an extended boundary, then without all the rigmarole, you can also make it equal. So when everybody's paying the same, they get the same service. Now that it's taxes and not HOA.
Everybody pays equal in that district now, except the lots that haven't been added to the district. And state law allows the county to add benefited lots. That's why we're adding the benefited lots. And I don't know if the county attorney wants to speak more to that.
Well, the distinction is that when the district was created, it was for particular roads, and the funding was to be used for those particular roads. Technically, yes, we are changing the boundaries to add the benefited lots in, but those roads aren't incorporated into the district. That's where the petition process comes into play. If you folks want to have your road added into that and add whatever, an estimated snow plowing is for the year, or once a year grading, or twice a year grading, whatever it is you need, then those roads can be incorporated into the district after you go through the process.
Okay, my name is Shannon Peeler. I'm obviously married to this Peeler. But anyways, the downfall with this is that, one, we didn't even get notification that any of this was going on to give us the opportunity to put in a petition, because none of us got this until it was mailed out it was postmarked August 11th, which we got it from our mailbox August 13th. Okay. And so where is there time in there for us to be part of maybe submitting that petition to include our roads and everything else? Because it did state in this paperwork that we were paying a fraction and that we were now paying in a total amount. It also stated that the public hearing was also held and that it was already voted that this was approved. So how, it does, it says it right here. You want me to read it to you? You want me to read it to you because I've got it right in front of me. It does state that.
There has been nothing, it says that because that's the resolution that the commission is to vote upon.
It flat out.
Bear with me, you asked me a question, let me answer it. If the commission, in its wisdom, because this is their decision, chooses not to pass this resolution, then it's not passed. That is just, and I hate to use this word, but I'm going to, that is in essence boilerplate language that is used in the resolution to say that after this hearing was conducted, it was passed. As you note, there are no signatures on that resolution. It has not been certified by the clerk and recorder, so it is not an official county passed resolution as of this moment.
Okay, so can we ask that it not be passed due to the fact that it would allow us the time to put in that petition to add in the roads where it's equally shared?
Well, I've
mean-
never heard of anybody wanting to, not have their property tax bill go down. Because that's what this is going to do.
And you
to
won't
most
have
people in
money to
Meadowlark.
maintain your roads up there. So,
And this is a
Well, we
process.
will have to maintain, this is Jeff again, according to this resolution,
I'm gonna
we
have to
were
pay-
paying, we were paying for Meadowlark to not have to maintain their roads. But we still have to maintain Alta and Ashbrook. Sentinel has already made an agreement with Meadowlark and they get plowing across the top. And assume they get
From what we
road
were
maintenance,
told.
you're on Sentinel, do you get road maintenance?
We didn't
I
last
do
week.
most.
They didn't. We
Yeah.
haven't had plowing from Meadowlark. up on
Okay.
Sentinel or Sentinel Trail.
That he maintains it, the plow guy told me you did, so. You know, I'd like to hear from somebody else on here, but I kind of agree with that, if we wanna be responsible for maintaining our own roads, then we'll let them pass this and go on. But if we want to look at possibly doing a petition to get this in, I say reject it. What do you, but that's just two of us.
Yeah, my name's Lisa Butler. I live up on Sentinel Trail and I would fully agree with that, that's not coming across as real reasonable, the way this is currently written.
Craig Allen, Sentinel, I'd agree. I got no problem paying, but, we should be getting our roads taken care of too.
How many of you folks are in Meadowlark?
None of us.
Okay.
We're all from the other side.
You're
the
on
benefited
Sentinel?
lots.
We're in the extended,
Either Sentinel or Songbird or Ashbrook. There's four
Okay,
subdivisions
do you-
over there.
Do you understand when you bought your lot up there, you agreed to be putting this in
It's
this?
never brought to my attention.
Well,
well,
it's,
it was in the covenants, it was in the subdivision approvals, and it was also on the plat for Ashbrook. So it was in 3 places and your realtor should have told you about it. If you guys want to create a district, that's benefiting your district, what you need to do is form your subdivisions, your 3 subdivisions up there and create one petition for your districts up there. And when these were going through subdivision review, I tried to get the developers to do that, but unfortunately, we didn't get them to do the petition. There was nothing in our subdivision regulations requiring that. So at this point, it's up to you people in that area to create the district. Because I don't think Meadowlark is gonna add on. We did go through that approach with Meadowlark when we wanted to do a rural improvement district up there. And they would not join in because they were not gonna pay for the roads in your subdivision because they didn't need your roads at all. But you guys need their roads for ingress and egress, or you can't get out of there.
and when you bought your property, you waived the right to, restrict this motion here. You guys have no right to tell us that you don't wanna be in this. When you bought your lot, that's what you stated. So we,
Oh, okay, but I'm just asking, is there a way that we can get a petition in and through? Because
not this year. You've got till Monday to get anything done. And we're-
Right, if
We're right
you
up at the
could.
end of it now,
No.
so.
And I-
A good thing to do is to start this now, work through it. You're gonna have to get everybody's signature. And what happens typically is you're not probably gonna be able to get into this Meadowlark or MD, you're gonna have to start your own. You're gonna have to layer on top of the Meadowlark. So you'll be paying Meadowlarks, you'll be paying your own, and this happens throughout the county. We've already got it. South Hills has got, I don't know how many layers. They've got, everybody up the road has got extra. I don't wanna say taxation, but fees for their roads. If the farther they live up, they're in South Hills, they're in the next one and in the next one. So they got 3 different lines on there. So if you want to start your own RMD, that's probably the easiest way. So I can guarantee you the people in Meadowlark aren't gonna sign your petition to get you added into their RMD.
And the county helps you guys create those districts. You just gotta contact me and I will help you through the process. I help you set up the petition, you guys collect the signatures, and then we take it through the county review, but we can't start reviewing them until January 1st. So that would be the soonest, and then it takes a while to get on the tax rolls. So realize this isn't gonna be immediate. Once you set it up, you're not gonna have a ton of money in there to work with.
No,
because-
So,
And I
don't know, the way they're explaining it, that I'm understanding, I don't know that we would want to pay extra taxes on top of,
no,
for the county to take care of our roads.
The county is not gonna take care of it.
Given,
So we're clear.
given what we're watching and have been watching for the last 13 months on Corbin.
So can I?
That's not the kind of road
Can I interject just
maintenance
a little bit?
we're
I
looking
heard
for.
that. So I'm Terry Coons, I'm your treasurer, I add that stuff. Just so you know, RMDs are not taxes. Okay, I'm gonna make that very clear. It is not a tax. It's a collection of money.
Right.
Based upon what you all approved and what Ladana goes through with you, what your costs are to maintain your roads. It creates this pool of money, and then when you hire a snowplow, or if that gentleman there snowplows and he sends you a bill, says, I spent $50 to do this, then you submit that, and the county finance group pays it out of those collections. Kind of like an HOA, but not really, because HOAs have a whole different spin. And correct me if I'm wrong, Ladina, but
No,
so the RMD collects this pool of money that you contribute to. It is
Right.
not a tax.
Right.
We put it on your tax bill as an easy way to collect.
Mhm.
So when Meadowlark was formed, and that's when I first began a while ago, there was that argument about those other subdivisions, but there was no houses there, really. I think there was one or two. Anyway, so they went, the gentleman that started that went to the few houses in there, and those people did not want to do it. Those weren't any of you people that are sitting in this room, because I'm pretty sure if I go back and look at my notes, I would remember who that was, but anyway. So when you talk about layering, so when you go up through Meadowlark, that's one RMD. If you have one in Sentinel, that's another RMD, right? Separate pieces. You control that pool of money in your little piece. So it looks like it's layering. You are correct. But South Hills, Martinez Gulch, they all layer because they're all crossing those roads to get to the top. So one pays this, they pay that. Some of them have 3 RMDs on their tax bills that we're collecting for them. So I understand that you don't want to like double, you're not really being doubled. You're paying for the road through Meadowlark, then into Sentinel or Ash Grove or whatever that look there. So those 10 houses that are in those other subdivisions, you currently are only paying for the roads through Meadowlark, but you're not doing anything for yourself there. So that's the only thing I wanted to make sure that
Yeah, I appreciate
you
that.
understand, it's
Yeah.
not a tax.
Yeah, that makes sense. So then who decides? So let's say up on Sentinel Trail where we're at, and there's what, 10 houses, 10 lots up there, 12. So if we decided, we got together, we went through the process, said, yes, we're gonna do this. So then does the county decide what that dollar amount is?
See this lady right here? She's a smart one. This is the
Okay.
one. She will work with you
Okay,
to go out to different people to say, okay, how much would it cost to maintain this area?
okay.
How much it costs to snow plowing? And then she and you figure out what
So
the
together,
best
okay.
dollar amount is for us to add to your tax bill
Yeah.
as an RMD, not a tax.
Yeah,
That will start. And unfortunately, 2025 tax bills are already on the roll.
Yeah.
So are in that process. That's why they have this deadline.
mhm.
But Ladana is really good at what she does. So she can start that process with you come January, so we can get it on 26.
Mhm.
We do not arbitrarily just pick a number
Yeah.
for a district. It's based upon, a lot of times, if like a chip seal needs to be done, there's an engineering study which is done to say it's gonna cost X amount per mile to do this. If you do it within this block of time, because as we all know,
Same process with the others.
inflation hits there, so.
And we, the homeowners, do we pay for that engineering study? Or how?
That usually gets rolled into your district.
Okay.
It, well, and it depends upon what it is that you're
Yeah,
doing.
they aren't really like you're not at the most, yeah.
And if you're not.
And the roads just will.
When they're 2 inches of snow. and all around.
How we really do it.
That was the whole, you guys let's see if it is.
What you want, that?
Question on
Governor down here, I gotta go.
say it's $100 a month just for number's sake. And a road washes out. The cost is gonna be more than what's in that pool of money. What happens?
We've had that happen before, and we have the reserve account that we can use money out of to be able to get that fixed, and then you pay back to the reserve account. So we have had that situation happen.
Yeah,
So that's kind of like what happened when the county loaned the money to Meadowlark to do the last chip seal. And the reason that happened we don't typically loan the money. But when they couldn't get the other, folks to sign on to do the rural improvement district, the whole thing fell apart and their roads were really bad at that point. So the county said, okay, we have to help you guys out. So we used the money and they paid us back because they couldn't get enough people signing the petition to create the improvement.
I think the communication has been poor because
Yeah.
like I hear about like an HOA meeting and a this and a that, like where we're at, we have said multiple times, like, let us know, like, what, like, we realize we drive on these roads. How can we participate in this? And we have never had any contact via
So-
phone or email from anybody at Meadowlark. We didn't know
Okay.
about a meeting, like,
Okay.
so it's been sketchy conversation.
So let me see if I can get
So,
some
let me know.
connection going up there between the
Okay.
groups. And we'll see what we can do. I know all the contact people on it, so.
And I'd just like to object on kind of like, so my name's Jake Kramer, I'm in lot 5331, so I'm actually not part of Sentinel Ridge, not part of Ashbrook, I'm kind of on my own up there, not on any HOA or anything like that. And so I purchased the land from my family August 8th of that same year that this went through on August 29th and showed up at that original one. And objected to being included in the RMDA, even though, yes, I do benefit from the roads, I have to access it, I don't really have an option there. But I didn't see, honestly, I saw that road as a giant money pit out there, and first of all, we always have these issues with that type of road. I don't live this far out of town because I don't expect to take care of things myself. So I object just based on the fact that I owned it before the original RMD went through, nothing has changed since then. And it also feels a little discriminatory to be included in this when two lots that also benefit from the roads that have no option but ingress, egress out of there. And that is 150 Wild Rose, I believe it's Terrence Reedy, and 9 Barefoot Spring Lane. Those also benefit and are not included in this. So honestly, I'd be happy to join and pay if I need to, but I don't want to be discriminated and not have other people join who should be joining in as well. So it's kind of one of those, like, I was left out before, nothing has changed since then. I would like to be left out unless everyone is included.
And like we said, we don't mind, you know, because all of us that live on that side do use Wild Rose. But just like they say, they supposedly don't use our roads, but I've seen some of those guys drive over on our roads. We drive, you know, because we're friends with each other off to both sides, so we don't always, I go on the other side of Wild Rose, up in those other areas, maybe once or twice a year. You know, and so it's like, yeah, Wild Rose is our main route, but we're paying all of the roads, like Meadowlark Trail and everything else. It's everything besides Wild Rose too, that we're helping to maintain, but yet we still have to maintain ours. I think that's why there is the big conflict, and that's, you know, as far, or I guess controversy in it or disagreement with it and everything, because I think that, you know, if we would have known that all of this was in place and that we had the option to be able to petition, because there was a lack of communication, so I do appreciate you pulling people together for that communication. I think that people wouldn't have such an issue because, you know, we're fine contributing, but we also need to look at the fact that we're paying now on top of that to maintain our own road. And that when we should have just did a petition to include all of those roads. We're not asking for our roads to be paved like those ones are. A road grader is far more cheaper than paving putting asphalt down and that. And so, and we've never complained, our HOA is not activated. And that, there's only one, I think Songbird, I think Songbird's the only one that's activated out of the 3 that are on that side. And that, if I recall right, because we never had an HOA, I don't even know who the president is. Oh wait, there is no president.
It doesn't exist.
There's 2 board members,
Well,
but there's supposed to be
it did
3.
exist.
Did exist.
The paperwork's filed, but it's nothing's
So
been done
The,
with
the
it.
problem is the folks out there in the subdivisions need to create their HOAs and get them up and running, and you're responsible for maintaining the roads and things out there. I mean, that's the county doesn't do any of that, when we do these
Right, and Meadowlark's-
subdivisions. Yeah,
Meadowlark's HOA is active.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that have the meetings. They invited us
Right.
to one meeting last year in April. Because they were talking about repaving the entire roads, and we gave our opinion from those that went to that meeting on that side. We had gave our opinion on that and everything else, but that's the only thing that we've ever been notified of. But as far as anything else, no, we've not heard a darn thing from that HOA. And I'll be honest with you, we've heard nothing.
and you're probably not gonna hear much out of them,
Cause you're not part of it. You're
You're
paying
not
into their
part of it,
RMD
yeah.
Right.
because you're using that road, but you're not part of their HOA really, and you,
But if you got your own RMD, it would certainly make a difference.
Well,
Right.
all of us neighbors have just come together. and-
Just so you know, I'm not a fan of them because they're paying the house when it comes to the job statement.
He's always loud.
It's my opinion.
He's
But
always,
they really are beneficial for you as homeowners. That's what I'm really trying to say.
right, no, and he's always plowed, and us, we've talked to our neighbors that are supposed to be, hearsay in our HOA. And we really don't wanna stand up, because we've all come to agreeance that when the road needs to be graded, that we get some bids and then come together and decide on which bid we're going with.
So you're doing it,
It's
you just don't know it.
Well, we just don't,
It's just not
there's no
complication.
point,
I
there's
don't
no
need a
point.
nosy Nelly being president of the HOA, driving around, sticking her nose in everybody's business. Sorry, we have one up there and I don't need a nosy Nelly.
I have the same situation, folks. I use 3/4 of South Hills Road and I maintain my own road.
Right.
And we do it as neighbors. We don't have an HOA, we don't have an RMD, we don't have any of it.
Right.
I go around and I talk to the neighbors and we come up with some money and we say, hey, would you go plow this? Yep. We'll take care of it with the grader. I plow it and another neighbor plows it.
Right.
But I still pay the whole amount for South Hills,
Mhm.
even though I use the length of Boulder.
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't ask our neighbors for help pitch in for fuel when when we plow it, we just. Because
And I don't
that way
either.
they can't
Only-
tell us, well, it wasn't plowed at 6 o'clock this morning,
Yep.
or it wasn't plowed. on their-
Only when you need to fix it. Only when you need to fix it, because you don't wanna come up with all the money to grade it and put
Right.
new gravel on it or whatever, but it's,
But what we've seen is, it works great until it doesn't work great.
Yeah.
You get these new people that move in, and all you guys right now kind of have this agreement.
Mhm.
But when the new folks move in now, well, we're not gonna pay this, we don't have to, and so then you have these people that aren't paying, and then the others get tired of it. So that's where the RMD is good.
Mhm.
Whatever money you guys put in there is your money.
Right.
I mean, you use it in your district, it doesn't go to anybody else's district.
It's a
And
better
it's-
option than an HOA. The RMD, I do have to
Just
say,
sit there
be a
until
better
you get
option than an HOA.
So,
Yeah.
because all you're doing is road maintenance. You're not doing how many bushes you can have or whether
Right.
you can have a rock in your front yard.
I do have a question, like
Right.
on the RMD, if, like, say that funds aren't utilized, because the fact, say like 1 year it doesn't need to be graded. We're just plowing and that, or whatever. Does those funds roll over from year
Yes,
to
yeah,
year
they
and
never-
will eventually build?
And they'll pay interest.
It stays there until your
Until you
RMD
spend it.
spends it on something.
Okay, I just wasn't sure, because
Yeah.
this whole I come from a state that I didn't have to worry about it. Whatever the road maintenance was on my property tax
Which was higher.
what we paid, yeah, which it was higher, so. But, so that's why I was just kind of curious, does that roll over, because kind of like you guys deal with state budgets, I deal with federal budgets.
So if,
And so,
so if your road's in good shape and say it's, right now it's gravel and you wanna chip seal it, you could save that money for 5, 8, 10 years if that's what you wanted to do and just do minimal maintenance till you could afford to chip seal it. It's always there. It's always your money. As long as you spend it on that RMD.
they can only be utilized for certain funds.
And that's
Yeah.
outlined in the resolution, correct?
Yeah, it's all outlined in the resolution.
Okay.
So that's why Meadowlark is the way it is, because that stuff was all outlined without any thought of there ever being other subdivisions and things up there in the past.
Okay.
Does all the houses we're talking about, can it be under one RMD, or does each section have to have its? own?
No, if you guys wanna come together up there and do one RFD for all year and wherever Meadowlark stops, you can do that.
And
Yeah,
what
that's what was my
percentage of
understanding, so everybody on
homeowners
Sentinel,
need to sign
Alta
on?
and Ashbrook, well, Alta and Ashbrook are the same people, because it's front side
Yeah.
or back side of the property, so it'd be basically Sentinel and Alta Drive, we can all come together, it's not oriented, but. So, and we can meet at our house if you want.
If we wanted to do an RMD.
Is there a set percentage of?
85%,
85%.
so it's really high,
Okay,
That's understandable.
yeah, that's good, I think that's.
yeah.
Well, it just means whose driveway do I block with snow, or whose do I not?
Yeah.
And anytime with Dana or myself, I just wanna have a meeting.
Come in and, yeah, I just need to understand the whole thing. I think that'd be good to just sit down and have you.
You can do that.
Good, thank you.
I'm good.
Sir, I would ask on the very end down there, you said you were at, what is that, lot 5?
5331, big square one on top.
How do you gain access to that by the road?
Yes, so I do have to gain access through Wild Rose and then Sentinel Trail, and then it's a Kestrel Drive to my property.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah, just to reiterate, I'm not opposed to helping with the roads and everything, I just want it to be equitable. So I don't see how two lots are left out when I'm dragged in, when nothing changed.
The two lots are the red lots that don't have anything.
There- So it's this guy right here, and this, kind
Yeah.
of rectangle one over here.
Let me see, so I know where you're
Yep,
talking.
absolutely. So this one right here is Terrence Reedy. He has to access right here. And
Does he have a house on it or?
he does have a house on it.
Because he should be paying for these, I don't know what it is, but,
He may, that's,
and that may be. a
there
thing I
might be an
don't have
interest
answer
to,
to,
yeah,
but I could find out.
it might be an interest that I don't understand based on this, but I just wanted to point out.
I can check into it.
Sorry.
I think I know which one goes on. It's unfortunate, but.
Well, I think they understand better.
And I think these are together, most colors will have to. So, yeah, because otherwise they're not gonna get access anyway, you know. The next year's like, yeah, who's going on?
Well, they have to.
They're gonna have to. So, yeah, they're just-
What I would do is, just ask them in public comment.
Right.
Public hearing, for me to home.
Okay, is there any other public comment? Anyone wants to say anything prior to us closing this one? Anybody? Are we all good? No other questions? Okay, we'll close this one, this hearing in resolution number 15-2025. And now comes the time for us to make a determination. I would entertain a motion.
Well, I want to thank everybody for their input, and I hope that we explained the process a little better and everybody understands it. And how you need to move forward if you want that. It doesn't really change the Meadowlark one, which is what we're dealing with now. So with that said, I would make motion, Mr. Chairman, that we approve resolution number 15-2025. Estimating the cost of maintaining, preserving, and repairing improvements, changing the boundaries, adding benefited parcels and levying assessments in Meadowlark Ridge Rural Maintenance District number 2515.
Thank you, Commissioner, and I would second that. So is there any other discussion? No other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, resolution number 15-2025 is passed. Okay, moving along with resolution number 16-2025, resolution estimating the cost of maintaining, preserving and repairing improvements, updating the boundary map and levying assessments for Bond Park Commercial and City Lights Commercial subdivisions, rural maintenance district number 2529. Dana.
Okay, so this district is actually made up of, I think about 3 subdivisions up there. They're commercial subdivisions. There's a couple of lots that are not actually in the district. that are in, that are using other other roads for access. So the commercial, city lights and Ballpark are the ones that mainly use the roads, and these two down here at the very bottom that you see are not using those roads. That's why they're not included in this district. So this one, we did a couple of years ago. We actually created the district. And when we did that, we did it at the time the Baum Park subdivision was being created. So at that point, we didn't have the actual assessment codes and stuff for the Baum Park lots. It was just one giant lot. So that's why we went back through to update the map. When I was doing this, Gary from City Light Subdivision contacted me and said, hey, we want to up our amount. Wow, if we can. So since we were already in this process, we included that in here also. So currently they collect $6,300.02, and that's on 19 lots. And that's $331.58 a lot. So they did a poll of all the people, and City Lights people all voted, 14 lots voted to increase the amount. We didn't hear anything out of Baum Parks. And we also sent notices like we did for all the RMDs to Baum Park. So she was noticed that this is going through review right now, so she'd have the opportunity to comment. And we did not hear anything from her. So what they would like to do is increase their amount to $12,600, and that would be $663.16 per lot for the 19 lots. So that will give them more money to be able to do chip seal projects, because what they're finding is that they don't have enough money in the kitty to be able to do that. And since these are commercial subdivisions, they get heavier trucks and stuff on them, they're gonna need more maintenance and more work on it. So that's the thought process behind this one.
Okay, any, open it up for discussion, anybody on this one? Anybody? No? Okay, pretty much, takes care of this one.
Ladana said it well. Gary at City Lights.
Excuse me?
That's scary at City Lights.
Oh.
I'm just saying Ladana spelled it out pretty clearly. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, then if there's nothing else to be said about this one, we'll close this one. I would, entertain a motion.
I'll move we approve resolution 16-2025, resolution estimating the cost of maintaining, preserving, and repairing improvements, updating the boundary map, and levying assessments for Baum Park Commercial and City Lights Commercial Subdivisions, Rural Maintenance District number 2529.
Thank you. And I would second that. So, any other discussion? Otherwise, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Opening up, again, this time with resolution number 17-2025, resolution estimating the cost of maintaining, preserving, and repairing improvements, changing the boundaries, adding benefited parcels, removing non-benefited parcels, and levying assessments in Moonlight Ridge Rural Maintenance District number 2512. Ladana.
Okay, so this one hasn't been updated for a long time. And we have lots up there that were created as part of a subdivision that need to be added into the district. We have lots up there that were family transfer lots that are not using the Moonlight Ridge roads anymore, so they need to be taken out. So we're gonna have lots going in and coming out of this district. We'll have 6 being removed that are no longer accessible, and then we'll have 8 that are coming into the district. And their amount is also going to decrease because we have 8 lots coming into the district. So their amount is going to be $14,275 for 37 lots, and that's $385.81 per lot. And I did forward the comments on that we did receive to the commissioners. And the other reason for this update was the resolution is just so old, it didn't, there's parts of it that didn't comply with state law anymore, so we were updating for that.
What I'm seeing, Ladina, on this map, that's what it encompasses, right? On Moonlight Ridge? This one?
Yes and no. I mean, we'll be getting a new updated map. What'll end up happening is next year, we'll have to come back through and do the new map on it. That's how Steve and I talked about getting the maps cleaned up after we get through these reviews here.
Okay.
So right now, the boundary is, the black boundary is the boundary right now. So that thick, dark boundary
Mhm.
is their boundary. So the yellow lots will all be coming in and the gray lots will all be going out. And that boundary will change after we get this done. So it will no longer encompass the areas where those gray lots are at.
So they won't exist. In a period of time, they will not exist, is what you're saying, right? Not right now, but in the,
Those
future.
gray lots just
Forthcoming.
won't be part of this.
Oh,
district
okay.
Be part of
anymore.
the RMD.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so the district will still be here, we just have to bring those lots out because they're not benefited anymore, so it's not fair to them to tax them for roads they can't even use at all.
Right. Okay.
So the gray ones will be coming out. And then your district boundary will change and we'll have that new map next year, we'll bring the new map forward. As one of the first ones we do at the beginning of the year.
Okay. Thank you. Now it's open for discussion. Gentlemen?
Mr. Chairman.
Sir?
My name is Chuck Cashel. I'm the past president of the Moonlight Ridge EOA. And I'm gonna be speaking in favor of this resolution. All of these properties that are proposed to be added are directly benefiting from the Moonlight Ridge Road. And that minor subdivision, when it was approved in late 2016, somewhere in that area, we were assured at that time that these lots would be added to our RMD. It's been over 8.5 years since that has occurred. And houses started going in there in January of 2017. Lots were sold. Starting then, all through 2017, lots were sold. They've been benefiting from Moonlight Ridge for 8.5 years without contributing. We lost, by my estimation, over $26,000 going into our RMD. Last year, we spent about $18,000 approximately fixing those roads. No contribution from these lots. The process to update these RMDs is too cumbersome, takes too long, has been ignored. From what I've been told, has been ignored. The process needs to be streamlined. And I've talked to Craig about this a couple different times. Future subdivisions are possible up there. We need to fix this. We need to fix this process. It needs to be paid attention to. That's all I've got to say. But I'm in favor of this resolution.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'll speak. It's Rob Thompson speaking from online. Hi, everybody. Kind of echoing just what Chuck says is those lots have contributed nothing to our roads for the better part of 7 or 8 years. There was no capital contribution to those roads. We all paid bonds on our properties for over 10 years, which is only just coming to an end for those roads. So obviously, we're appreciative of the fact that they will be included, hopefully, to pay for further costs. My suggestion would be that those lots should be surcharged by about 30% to try and recover what they should have contributed over the years. Why it happened, no one knows. I don't think we want to go into a post-mortem of how that happened. But the bottom line of it is their builders whacked our roads badly. And they just paid nothing. And I've spoken to some of those owners, and as far as they're concerned, they don't believe they have to contribute anything.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else off Zoom?
Yeah, my name is Brett Clark. I'm at 3 Station Lane. I think Mr. Cashel and Mr. Thompson explained it well, and I won't repeat that. But the people who bought parcels in that neighboring subdivision, for whatever reason, had no obligation to contribute to the cost of Moonlight Ridge. They linked their driveways to it while we paid for the road. They benefited from it, didn't have to pay for it. And I know that's long bristled a number of my neighbors. I'm a little bit newer to the area. I don't see any way to go back and fix that now. But as long as others are benefiting from using Moonlight Ridge, I think it's only fair to contribute to its maintenance. So I would also respectfully ask that you vote in favor of the resolution and require those benefiting from Moonlight Ridge to be included in the district. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brett, did you want me to send you a copy of this when we're done?
No, it's fine. I've got a copy at home that I forgot to bring with me, and I figured it would be on the website. So I just thought I'd see if I could get an electronic copy while I was here doing this from my office. So don't sweat it.
My apologies. I misunderstood. I could have sent you one before it was signed.
No, it's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. I've got one there. I just didn't have it here with me.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, I'm also Samantha Mongovin, commissioners. Thanks for having us on Zoom today and those in the meeting. I'm also Moonlight Ridge. I've been on Moonlight Ridge since 2018 and also support that anybody using Moonlight Ridge, the new subdivision that is potentially in the works, as well as those several lots that were put in at the top of the ridge, also need to pay for that R&D. And I would also support trying to build back some of that R&D that we've lost, the 26,000, by adding, something additional to get some of that back. I am concerned with the new subdivision talk. I will say that if this is a difficult process, as Chuck described, to get it updated, I'd like to make sure that if possible, that there's some way to include the new any new subdivisions going off of that to be automatically included in R&D as well.
Can you shed some light on that?
I don't think they could be automatically included. It's like the process we just had to go through with the last, the Meadowlark Ridge one. When these subdivisions get created, then we've got to come back to the commissioners and get them added in.
But it shouldn't take 8 years. I agree with you. If that's what it took, it shouldn't. And hopefully we can alleviate some of that.
And we have been trying to work on getting them updated. Our real issue is they've not been updated. I've been here almost 10 years and that was my job to update them, but we have all these other projects at the same time going on and we only had one staff person trying to juggle everything. And then when we started digging into the districts, we figured out, hey, these things really need somebody to take a look at them and make sure they're right. So that's what's really taken us so long to get through that process, is trying to get things up to date the way they should be. And then once we do that, it should make it a lot easier for us to do the update.
Can I comment on that, Ladana? I mean, we as residents and taxpayers in the county really do rely on your office to hold the developers to the fire to make sure they comply. And in the case of the Taylor development, somehow it slipped through the cracks. But when we confronted Taylor about it, his attitude was, it's not my problem. And the people who can manage it and police it is the county. And we are really quite dependent on the county to make sure that these things happen fairly, because essentially we've got 8 units who've driven up and down our roads for 8 years free. They haven't paid a cent, but they get the benefit of us plowing the roads for them, for their kids to go to school and do whatever. So we really are dependent on the county to make sure there's compliancy.
And that's what we're trying to do, is get these up to speed so we can do that for you. Unfortunately, when I got here, it was just a pile of stuff, and I had never seen an R&D when I got here. And between me and the county attorney and the clerk and recorder's office, we've learned a lot about these districts and the things that we need to be doing with them. So that's what we're trying to do, is get them up to speed for you. And then that was the first one we ever even had to add in new lots to, because a subdivision happened, that one up there in your neighborhood. So it wasn't even on the county's radar to be adding those ones in. So that's why that one got missed for so long. But when these other subdivisions happen, we know now there needs to be a condition there. There needs to be something in the subdivision regulations to be able to tie that to the developer to make sure that that stuff is all happening.
But we can't if it's a family.
Obviously, it's a problem at the moment because we all know that Greg Dahl is proposing a fair development there, which in some ways, looking at some of the maps, seems quite open-ended. And there's all kinds of issues going on with second egresses, and these are all the kind of things we need to have some understanding of.
And I understand that, but right now, there's no subdivision on the table. So Greg Dawes has nothing to do with this thing, other than Greg's paying into this district just like you guys. Until we get a subdivision application that lands in my office, it's really nothing.
Well, the question is, who approved the Taylor development?
It went through subdivision review.
And who was that?
I was there. Commissioners were there. The county was there.
But we talked about this, those houses being added to our R&D at that time.
Well,
and we were assured that they would be added at that time. And, you know, I don't know, I don't have the notes to say who was there and who wasn't there, but we did bring that up at that time, and we were told it would happen.
And it is happening.
It is, but it's
so 8.5 years later, you're lucky you got it now.
Ma'am, with respect.
Quit, and
Ma'am,
then
with
you
respect.
stuck here doing the same thing all over again. So.
Ma'am, with respect, it's not a luck situation. It's the administration should have been done properly.
May I ask an additional question? Does this resolution include the discussion on more than one access route into the subdivision as well?
No, this is a rural maintenance district
Okay.
only. It has
Thank you.
nothing to do with subdivision review.
Oh, no, I guess that wasn't my question. I was wondering about the access route for fire safety.
That's
I
not
don't
part
know
of this.
anything about the access route other than the tales Greg Dahl tells me and he's told everybody else. I really don't know if there is a second access route. It was prior to my time at the county.
Just confirming that's not anything we can discuss today. Thank you.
No.
Any other discussion from anyone? If not, we'll go ahead and close this meeting. With that being said, I would entertain a motion.
I will make a motion to approve resolution 17-2025, resolution estimating the cost of maintaining, preserving, repairing improvements, changing the boundaries, adding benefited parcels, removing non-benefited parcels, and levying assessments in Moonlight Ridge Rural Maintenance District number 2512.
And I would second that. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion
Aye.
carried. That being said, that's pretty much it, for this meeting and stuff, unless somebody else has anything else outside of what here on the agenda. And if not, then otherwise we will be adjourned. Thank you for all coming.
We'll be recessed.
Recess.
Or recessed, excuse me. Thank you. Yeah, because we make the determination next week, the finalization. This just moves forward. Thanks, Helen.
You're welcome.
Helen, I'm gonna put all these resolutions in your office for Corey's signature.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. We'll, I have no idea what happened, but I can tell you that.
All right.
And hopefully.
They must have missed some. This last one I didn't sign.
We'll go from there.
Hey, introduce myself.
Did I?
I'm Craig Aston.
Oh, no, you did not.
Seniors neighbor.
Yeah, he grabbed the wrong.
Thank you very much. You're the new president?
Yeah.
Perfect. Eric has my phone number.
I'm Tom Cole. We met when he was sheriff.
I think we did, yeah.
I was part of, I'm still part of the Lancaster Ingo. We had lunch
Oh.
with that.
There you go. That was one of the projects I never got done because the feds are way tougher than us to work with. I could tell you.
Right, well, nice to meet you.
Right, you too.
Absolutely.
I'm all right, just wanted to keep all of you. Hey, Craig, I have a
Yes, sir.
request, something from you, for you. I happened to knock myself off my car.
I got a rock.
Do you?
Yep.
Well, I don't have one, but I'll tell you. Last year, I busted a bus window with my cane. Because the guy tried to-
They have to Slim Jim, parking lot there, Paul.
They were selling some.
I will change that.
I do not have a Slim Jim.
No, you know,
Didn't we get-
who does that? 'Cause I didn't know.
What are your cars that?
I'll take one.
2016,
many people I get calling me.
No,
They're tough. I would,
just.
I'll tell you what I did as a sheriff. I recommend people call a locksmith. Because otherwise it tweaks the door
At
or.
Comcast, my Montana millionaires can get in line forever, and there was a switch in, and you had just
Does
lost
the
your
same
stuff
thing and
out of
Oh,
your
I have,
car.
I have a kid. So I'm done. That's kind of.
Maybe I never get
Ginger might have one in her car, you just have to get Craig to use it.
Let me